Y'all know things get serious when I have to put on a sweatshirt for an NBA prediction video. Y'all know it's going to be serious. How's it going, guys? It is MWT Madness with a twist. We have our second month of the NBA. It has officially passed. 62 days in. We are 62 days in. The first time I did my NBA prediction video was 30 days ago. So it's been a month. We're going to go over and see what happened this season. But I need you guys to do me two things. Like the video and subscribe to the channel with post notifications turned on. And I got some optional homework for you guys. Leave a comment. Leave a nice comment if you want, saying, if this video is nice, what needs to be improved, what would you want to see. But if you're going to leave a negative comment, then just, yeah. I don't like being lied to, so don't do that. And subscribe, and definitely subscribe to the channel. We are 21 away. We need to make sure we hit 200. So, without further ado, the thinking glasses come on, and the analytics will start. Let's take a look at what happened so far. So we are 2 months in to the NBA season. We're going to take a look at each team and say what needs to be improved from each team. I'm going to start in the Western Conference because it's so competitive this year. Let's start at the bottom. Golden State, 7-24. There's nothing needs to be said that they are tanking. They are tanking for a top 3 pick in the next draft. They are tied with the New York Knicks for the same record. So, your goal right now is to tank. D'Angelo Russell is still giving you good points. Eric Paschall doing a fantastic job. Alec Burks looking like a great player. All I'm going to say is that if you want to get a top 3 pick, you got to keep tanking. You got to keep losing. Don't shut D'Angelo Russell down. Just restrict his minutes. Start developing your young guys. That's what I honestly think. Now, New Orleans, 8-23. We know they have a problem. Zion Williamson might be out for the season. You are most likely taking the Philadelphia 76ers pace, which means you are tanking for a pick. Top 5, most likely, you'll be in the lottery. So I would suggest that, which means you got to lose. Please lose to my Chicago Bulls on January 8th. Now, Minnesota at 10-19. Very surprising that they fell over the past month. Karl-Anthony Towns out. Andrew Wiggins is still playing. If you are going to tank and try to go for a top 5 pick, which it most likely looks like that you're doing, then you got to tank even harder. Now, Memphis, 11-20. This team is actually looking pretty good over the past month. They actually look really good. I would say that if your goal is to not tank, then you can make a push. You can make a push. You're only 3 games out. You can make a push. Minnesota is also 3 games out, but they're far behind. They're 4-16 in the conference. Now, Phoenix, 11-19. This is another team that fell out of the playoff race. If you want Devin Booker to stay, which is most likely the goal, you got to start winning more games. You got to have it, but also Devin Booker has to start playing more efficiently again. He's actually fell off in the past month. I said he was an all-star. I said he was an all-star in the last prediction video for the first month. He actually fell off to the point where I believe he won't be an all-star. But I'm still holding out. I still believe he can be an all-star. Sacramento in 10th with 12-18. They're only a game and a half behind. I personally don't believe they should make the playoffs. But, they'll be a top 10 team. They're definitely formidable. They'll play spoiler to a couple teams. So, yeah, if you want to keep having that role, go ahead. Now, biggest one. San Antonio is a game behind 8th place. You guys are 12-17. This shouldn't be happening. You guys got to start winning games. You guys got to start winning big games. Please, for the love of God, make the playoffs. Because I want to see that playoff streak get snapped. get beaten. The record gets beaten. You beat the 76ers, and then you can officially start your rebuild. Now, you can even get rid of Greg Popovich. I don't care. Even though Greg Popovich is God rest his soul, he's the greatest coach of all time, in my opinion. Now, Portland, 14-17 and 8th place. This shouldn't be happening. You guys should be a top 3 team in the West. You guys got to turn it around. That's all I got to say about it. You guys got to turn it around. You got Carmelo Anthony. Great job. If you're going to have this big 3 mentality that Carmelo is going to somehow be that big 3, is going to be that 3rd player. You know what? He can be a half player. He can be a half player. You need 2.5 good players on a team. Then you got to start winning more games. Because 7th place, a surprise, Oklahoma City is 15-14. They are in 7th place. They shouldn't even be here. They shouldn't be here, in my opinion. They'll start losing. Unless the refs keep giving them games. They shouldn't be here. Now, the next team. Now we're in the top 6. This is when it needs to get. This is when we get serious. Utah is 18-12. You guys, I picked to be top 3. Or top 4, sorry. Because you guys are a championship contender team. Just got to start playing efficiently. Got to start playing smart. Dallas, 19-10. They're in 5th place. You don't have Luka Doncic right now, which honestly is a big loss. I believe he'll still be an all-star. Kristaps Porzingis is starting to play like his unicorn self, which is very great. You got to start winning more games, man. You can't blow these games, too. In the Western Conference, you can't blow huge games to the East. Now, Clippers are 22-10. They sit in 4th, tied with the Houston Rockets. The only reason why they don't have it is because of the percentage, why they don't have 3rd. All I'll say is that Clippers, you got to win Christmas. If you win on Christmas, doesn't matter what happens. You'll have home court advantage over the Lakers, even though both of you play in the Staples Center. Now, Houston, 21-9, 3rd place. If your mentality is that you're big 2 of Russell Westbrook and James Harden, all you need is Russell Westbrook to play more efficiently. That's what I believe. Russell Westbrook and James Harden will be all-stars. They're one of the most dynamic duos in the league. But they just need to be efficient. Russell Westbrook has actually gone on a tear in the past month. And I like seeing that. That means James Harden's numbers are diminishing, which means he's starting to fall out of the NBA MVP race. And I hate to see that because he should be an MVP candidate. Now, Denver is 2.5 games behind 1st. You guys can get 1st place in the Western Conference. Just got to start playing harder. 21-8. Joker has to start coming alive now and start giving you 20, 10, and maybe 8 assist games. As long as he does that, you guys will have a chance, in my opinion, to grab 1st place in the Western Conference. And of course, Lakers at 24-6, they actually fell. They're actually on a 3-game losing streak, about to be a 4-game losing streak, because we don't have LeBron. Well, in those first 2 games you lost, you did have LeBron and AD. And in the last game, you didn't have LeBron, and apparently you guys are starting to lose. Hopefully this team starts losing more. I would love to see the Nuggets actually become the 1st seed in the Western Conference. I would love to see that. Please, Santa Claus, make it happen. Now, the Eastern Conference. Atlanta is 6-25. This is a team I predicted to be 9th place. They're not looking like it. They might actually be tanking. I would hate that to be the case. Because in 14th is the New York Knicks at 7-24. They should be 5-26. And then Cleveland's right above them at 9-21. They're clearly tanking. Well, Actually, I should rephrase that. They pretend they're not tanking because they keep Kevin Love and they trade for Dante Exum. They give away Jordan Clarkson. They're going to pretend they're not tanking, but I believe they are. So, because right above them, Washington's 9-20. They should be tanking because they don't have John Wall, your star point guard. They brought in Isaiah Thomas. Bradley Beal's playing at an all-star level, which he will be an all-star. But these four teams are so bad. These four teams are so bad. It's unparalleled. It's unparalleled. Because 11th place in the Eastern Conference, the Detroit Pistons, they pretend they're a playoff team. 11-20 right now. No Blake Griffin. Andre Drummond, for some reason, came off the bench. And practically they need help. Derrick Rose coming off the bench playing outstanding. I don't think there's going to be any All-Stars from Detroit, personally, other than maybe Andre Drummond. Now, 10th place Chicago. They had a chance. They had a chance to get 8th place in the Eastern Conference, and they lost to the Orlando Magic. They're 2 games behind. My advice, play efficiently, make a big trade, bring in a great small forward. Bring in a great small forward to help you out, and you will have a chance to get back into the playoff race. You're in 10th place. That's fine. 2 games out. Don't lose. Do not keep losing. You have to start winning big games. I'm going to explain this. They play Atlanta next. They play Milwaukee. They play Utah. They play Boston, and then Dallas, New Orleans. Obviously, that game I'm going to be at. If I am right on this, by the time the New Orleans Pelicans game rolls around, they'll probably win at least 2 games. If not, they have 1 guaranteed victory. But they have to at least make these other games close in order to have a chance. So, and next, Charlotte is in 9th place at 13-20. They're only a half game ahead. Charlotte is pretending they're not tanking, even though they should be tanking. Because you don't have a definitive star. Devontae Graham may be your star player, even though he's a young player, a young talent. But he's a great player. I think he could make the All-Star team. But Terry Rozier, with that contract, you need to move him, even though he's giving you great numbers. But you got to move him if you want to keep tanking. And you want to if you want to be this lottery mentality team. You're going to pretend you want to make the playoffs, but you're not. I can explain that to you, and I could definitely say you're not making the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. You don't want to get blown out by Milwaukee. You don't want to get blown out by Boston or Miami. I can tell you that for a fact. And now we get into the Eastern Conference playoff race. Orlando at 13-17. I said in one of my videos, the Eastern Conference 8th seed will have a losing record. So far, it's proving to be that case. Orlando, please start losing. Now, Brooklyn, 16-13. Kyrie Irving, for some reason, even though he's still not playing, I hope he could be an all-star. He could still be an all-star. But Spencer Dinwiddie, man. Spencer Dinwiddie is looking like he's going to be the all-star for the Brooklyn Nets, which would actually be cool. Because that would be the greatest G League story of all time. From G League to the NBA to the Brooklyn Nets to becoming an all-star player. That would be a great story. So all they got to do is just keep winning. They got to keep staying afloat. I said they would be, 6th place? There are a lot of competitive teams in this conference. They are 4 games behind 6th place. Now, between 6th place and 2nd, this is the most competitive I've ever seen the Eastern Conference be. They are all within 1.5 games of each other. Indiana, 21-10. Make sure you get Victor Oladipo back. Because this team, without Victor Oladipo, is still looking good. But Victor Oladipo will get you over the top. Philadelphia, 22-10. Ben Simmons has to start being more efficient, and Joel Embiid has to start playing an MVP level because you're the best big man in the Eastern Conference. Well, I shouldn't say that. Second best. The only person that's actually better than you, that you should be better than, is Giannis. Gotta be better than Giannis, Joel. You gotta challenge him. Toronto, 21-9. 4th place. They're a great regular season team, but I hope they start losing. Miami, 22-8. They are actually in 3rd. They are at 22-8, which is a better record than the Boston Celtics. But it all comes down to percentage versus the league. They're playing great. Big 3 of the future. Picture this. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. Hero is becoming one of the best rookies I've ever seen. He is going to be a candidate for Rookie of the Year. Could he win it? Small chance, because Ja Morant. But that would be a great story for Tyler Hero if he does win the Rookie of the Year. Boston, 20-7. No introduction there. Boston is playing incredible. This is the team that they were meant to be with Kyrie Irving. Instead, they have Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker is making them better. And now, the final team, the best team in the NBA. The Milwaukee Bucks at 27-4 are 4.5 games better than Miami Heat, and they are 5 games ahead of 2nd place. The Bucks will be 1st place again. Giannis is on a mission. Kobe challenged him after he won the NBA MVP award. Great job, Greek Freak. Your next challenge, win a championship. And that is what Giannis is doing. He's on a mission to win the championship. He is going to do. I hope he does it. I hope Giannis Antetokounmpo wins the championship for Milwaukee. They will be in Eastern Conference Finals again. They will be in it. They have got to make the finals this year. And if they do, it doesn't matter what happens in the finals. They win, they lose. It doesn't matter. Giannis will sign the extension and he will stay with Milwaukee because that's an incredible place to be. Why would he want to leave? I think it's better for him. If he wins the championship this year, he can stay with the franchise for as long as he wants because he will turn, in Milwaukee's eyes, he will be their Dirk Nowitzki. Giannis will become to Milwaukee what Dirk Nowitzki became to Dallas. Dirk took them to the finals. They lost the first time. He took them back. They were always the best in the Western Conference, in their conference. They couldn't get over the hump sometimes. They blew leads, but still, he brought them a championship. Giannis has the opportunity to become the NBA's next Dirk Nowitzki. And I've never seen this before, other than Dirk. This will be, this is going to be incredible if he does it. If he wins the championship, Giannis can stay with the Bucks and bring the franchise, give them some relevance that they haven't had since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, then before Lou Alcindor. That would be incredible. That would be an incredible story for the NBA. And I hate the rumors that the news is starting to put out that Giannis is going to the Warriors. He's not. Giannis would not do that. I don't believe he could do that. If he wins the championship or makes the finals this year, I don't believe he will do that. There is no possible way. But, and I'll get into the playoff prediction right now. There are 2 teams, in my opinion, that can that can make the finals over the Bucks. Now, let me talk about the Western Conference playoff bracket first. LA, if we're going off seeding now, LA will beat Portland in a close series, probably 6 games. Denver will beat Oklahoma City and send them packing home. Probably a 5-game series. Houston will beat Utah in a close series, probably 6 games. And the Clippers will beat Dallas in probably 5 games. Maybe 6, but 5. Now, that means we have the top 4 teams in the Western Conference. It'll be the Battle of LA. Battle of LA in the second round. I'm sorry, but I believe the Clippers will prevail. 6 games. Now, Denver versus Houston. I believe Denver will win. 7 game series. It'll be close. It might come down to a game winner. Now, you have Clippers versus Denver. Now, depending how it goes, it'll either be the Clippers with home court advantage based off of them beating the Lakers, or it'll be Denver. Whatever the case is, I believe the Clippers do make the NBA Finals over the Denver Nuggets. The problem is playing in that atmosphere in Denver is very tough. That atmosphere up there in the Mile High City is very tough to play in. I believe, though, they get it done in 6. If they have home court advantage, they get it done in 6. If they don't, they still get it done in 6. Let's go over to the Eastern Conference. So far my pick out of the Western Conference is the Clippers. Now, Milwaukee versus Orlando. What was I saying? Milwaukee versus Orlando. Milwaukee curb stomps them. I believe it should be a sweep. Or maybe 5. Boston versus Brooklyn. Easy matchup. You can chalk that up as a victory for Boston in 5. Miami versus Indiana. Miami wins in a sweep. That is only if the Indiana Pacers do not have Victor Oladipo. If Victor Oladipo somehow comes back and plays in the NBA, I believe the Indiana Pacers will push this to a 6-game series. But if they don't, Miami will sweep them. Now, Toronto versus Philadelphia. Upset alert. The Philadelphia 76ers win this series in 6 games, defeating the Toronto Raptors and getting revenge. Sorry, that's what I personally believe. So, we got Milwaukee versus Philadelphia and Boston versus Miami. I'm going to go over the Boston series first. Boston wins game 1, and Paul Pierce again says this series is over. Miami comes back and beats them in 6. Miami will win this series in 6. Now, Milwaukee versus Philadelphia. If Joel Embiid doesn't show up, Milwaukee will destroy them in 5 or maybe 4. But if it does, this could go to a 7-game series in which Milwaukee still wins. So you have an Eastern Conference Finals matchup of Milwaukee versus Miami. Now, that Boston versus Miami series can go either way, actually. But I personally believe Miami will make it farther. Boston is the only other team that can challenge the Bucks for the NBA Finals crown. Now we have Milwaukee versus Miami. Miami is also the second team that can challenge Milwaukee. Personally, Milwaukee will make the finals and beat Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat in 6 games. It will be a defensive battle. And you know what? This series can actually favor Miami. Think about this. The only reason the Raptors made it last year was because they changed their defensive structure to limit Giannis's effectiveness on the court. They built the wall. And now, if Miami does that and they limit Giannis is probably going to have to start shooting more. And Giannis has gotten better at three-point shooting. But if they can start slowing him down, hoping the fact that, he does go 33% from the three-point line and he shoots ineffectively, they can make the NBA Finals. Miami can make it with that defense. But personally, Milwaukee will win in 6. Now, we have a matchup of the Clippers versus Milwaukee. Kawhi Leonard versus Giannis. Milwaukee has home court advantage. But Kawhi Leonard knows Giannis. The Clippers win this series in 6 games. The only way I see Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks winning this game winning the series, winning the championship, for crying out loud. Two things need to happen. First, Milwaukee's got to play effective. They've got to be efficient. They got to do everything efficiently. Run it through Chris Middleton if you need to, because he's a great three-point shooter. Run it through George Hill. George Hill's an incredible three-point shooter in the finals. Well, not in the finals, but in the playoffs, he's really great. Even in the regular season, I actually saw he's really great. He's very efficient. The second thing that needs to happen is playoff P. You know what I'm talking about. Paul George. If Paul George doesn't show up like he usually does in the playoffs, Milwaukee will win this series in 5. But I actually think he will show up. So the Clippers will win this series in 6. That is what I firmly believe. That's my prediction. Now, accolades and All-Stars. Rookie of the Year, Ja Morant. Tyler Hero can challenge him. And Devontae Graham can too. Most Improved, Davis Bertans from the Washington Wizards. That's my candidate. Sixth Man of the Year, it's between Lou Williams or Montrezl Harrell. But I believe Montrezl Harrell can win it. Montrezl Harrell will win Sixth Man of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year. It's a very tough one, actually. It's very tough. I personally believe that Defensive Player of the Year could go to 2 different players. Or 3. Giannis, Anthony Davis. Let me throw this name out there. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is a great defensive player this year. And I am very excited to see what he can do. He has a chance. Actually, I give him a small edge to win Defensive Player of the Year, but in my opinion, they're probably going to give it to Anthony Davis. So, Anthony Davis for Defensive Player of the Year. And NBA Most Valuable Player. My top 3 candidates, who are they? Luka Doncic comes back and goes back on the tear. He will be an MVP candidate again. James Harden might be an honorable mention, but he could be a candidate. The only reason why the NBA news media will not give it to James Harden is because of voter fatigue. That's why. They will put LeBron in it for some reason. Even though Anthony Davis is clearly the leader of the Lakers, he's making LeBron's legacy again. They will give it to LeBron. They will put LeBron in the candidate spot. And, of course, the best player in the Eastern Conference, Giannis Antetokounmpo. In my opinion, Giannis will be the NBA's most valuable player again for a second year in a row. He's on a mission this year. He wants to win the championship, and he's improved. He's improved. You can make a case he can be the most improved player from the shooting side of it. But Davis Bertans is better. Davis Bertans has improved drastically. You can make a case also for Devontae Graham and all these other players, but Davis Bertans is really being slept on right now. But Giannis will win another MVP award. At that point, after that, voter fatigue will kick in for him. And that's very unfortunate. He's a special player. Giannis is a special player. Now, let's go over these teams that will have All-Stars. I'm going to eliminate the teams already that won't have All-Stars. Atlanta, New York. Why did I even think that New York was going to have an All-Star? They only have their best player is a role player. Cleveland. Detroit. I'm putting Detroit in there. Charlotte. That's 5 teams from the Eastern Conference. For the Western Conference, I don't know if I want to put Golden State. I'll put Golden State. New Orleans. Minnesota may be a tough one. Memphis. Sacramento. Oklahoma City. I don't care what anybody says. Oklahoma City, even though they're going to be in the playoff race, they're not going to have a All-Star, even though they might put Chris Paul in there. So, what does that mean? Minnesota will have Andrew Wiggins. So Andrew Wiggins for the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's one player so far. Phoenix, Devin Booker, if he can be better. Because for right now, Karl Anthony Towns isn't playing. That's why I haven't put him in there. But Andrew Wiggins is. He could be an all-star. San Antonio might not have an all-star, but I will put LaMarcus Aldridge in there. Portland, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum. I don't personally believe Carmelo Anthony will make it. Utah. This is a big one. Rudy Gobert. I believe Rudy Gobert can make it if he doesn't get snubbed. If not, it will most likely be his teammate Donovan Mitchell, but Rudy Gobert is my pick. Dallas. If he comes back, Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis. For Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. Houston, final five. Houston will have James Harden, Russell Westbrook. For Denver, Jokic. I would hope that Jamal Murray can make it. But for right now, it looks like just the Joker is going to make it from the Denver Nuggets. And then, because here's the thing. From the Lakers, they're going to put LeBron in there, and they're going to have Anthony Davis. There's your 15 from the Western Conference. That's what I'm mad about. Because they're going to give it to LeBron again because, oh my God, it's LeBron. We need to give him everything on a gold platter. Don't like it. Now, let's go over to the Eastern Conference. Now, I said Atlanta, New York, Cleveland, Detroit, and Charlotte won't have all-stars. So what does that mean? Washington will have Bradley Beal. Chicago will have an all-star. Zach LaVine. They need to put Zach LaVine in the all-star game because that's your representation from Chicago. Orlando. Nikola Vucevic. He's a great player. Nikola Vucevic is a great player. From the Brooklyn Nets, Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie, man. I don't think Kyrie can make it because he's starting to miss more games. He could be. Kyrie Irving could be the Brooklyn Nets player. But Spencer Dinwiddie would be a great story. Indiana, in my opinion, Miles Turner, TJ Warren. That's a surprise, isn't it? From Philadelphia, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. I'm sorry, I'm not putting Ben Simmons in there. From Toronto, Pascal Siakam. From the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler. He will be one of two because the other person that could also make it, which could be a surprise, is Duncan Robinson. But personally, I don't know. Now, that means 5 players for 2 different teams, Boston and Milwaukee. What does this mean? Let me basically say who's going to be 2 players from each team so far is making it. Giannis and Chris Middleton, and then for Boston, it's Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum. You got 1 spot left. Who are you taking? You could say Jaylen Brown. You could say George Hill. I mean, you could put Brook Lopez in there. That'll be a great pick. Ben Simmons is still on the board for consideration. I'm not putting Kyle Lowry in there. A surprise, this final pick for All-Star of the Eastern Conference will be a surprise. I don't exactly know who it's going to be. For all I know, it could be Andre Drummond. If I had to pick from these 2 teams, I'd say Jaylen Brown. We'll see what happens. But those are my picks for the All-Star game. My picks still stand for the dunk contest from the last time. I picked that they should have a 6 people competing in the All-Star game dunk contest. You got Zach LaVine versus Aaron Gordon again. Derrick Jones Jr., Donovan Mitchell, that would be incredible, right? That would be cool. That'd be cool to have Donovan Mitchell come back and compete for it. I said Zion Williamson last time just because I thought he would still be healthy. If he comes back, he could make the All-Star game. dunk contest. That would be incredible. But if he's going to sit out, I don't know who to put in there. But my fifth person, if I take Zion out, my fifth person is Hamidou Diallo. Got to have the person who won it last year at least compete for it. You got one spot left if it's not Zion. So I don't know who to put there. You could make the case that for that spot, just throw in a player. Just throw in a player. Maybe put Bam or Bam Adebayo, or you could put Duncan Robinson in there. I don't care who you put in there. Just put one. I mean, you could even say that Dennis Smith Jr. Those are my picks. Well, the NBA second month is over. We are 2 months in. Oh, we'll see what happens. The next video will be covering 3 months, but I might push it back to before the All-Star game, just because I'm going to see what they say, who's going to be on the All-Star team, what are the picks for the All-Star game, like different events. So, see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry. If you stuck around, you guys are the real MVPs. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new with post notifications turned on, share with your friends, grow the community, and let me know in the comment section what you think. Because honestly, your opinion does matter. As long as it's positive, constructive criticism. If it is negative and just being negative, then I'm sorry. Nah. I don't like people who lie. I don't like people who try to lie to me. So, I'll see you guys in the next NBA recap video. Or, I might post some pinball. We'll see. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. MWT out.